Did this release step on Kendrick GNX?
Nope. If this is we're playing basketball and I leave here, you're gonna shoot me because I dunked on you.
Right.
I don't want to play.
As I said, the street lights came on and Cole went in the house, and that's okay.
Look, man, if you don't want to get shot,
Go in the house.
Go in the house.
I put this on everything.
Party people,
I love
it's your boy
my
Mazi.
sweat and my clothes. I thought I told you this is my world, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, party people in the place to be. It's your boy Mazi. We're back to stir some mess up, some more mess on the internet.
Yeah, bro. Had to run it back.
Had to run it back, man. I mean, why not? A lot of stuff is going on literally here in our backyard. So before we get to it, for those people who are new, hi, I'm Mazi. How you doing? As you could tell, I spelled my name. My guy, Skrills.
Skrills.
Come on, man. Yo,
Shout out P Money.
yo, hit that again. Run that back.
Yeah.
Yo, all right. I'm feeling that, Skrills.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, man.
P Money, what's going on? I would say free P Money, but I don't know what she did. But you know, whenever you get out, I guess we can holler. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
She'll be here.
What happened? Yikes.
Wow.
Wait,
Oh
what?
yeah,
What?
collect call.
Trafficking?
Yeah.
What kind of trafficking?
Human.
Was it? I'm just wondering, was it dope or
I mean,
something else?
Yeah, if it was that stuff, then whatever. But not if it's humans,
Could be sex trafficking. We don't know.
we don't know. We don't know. In the words of.
But she did it for.
But she did it for who? You baby. Lambo, what's up?
Lambo in here.
Yeah, and then to the right of me, the guy that got the internet in a frenzy.
Come on, man.
My God, question. We had to run it
We back. We back. Y'all got
We
me
back.
back here 2 weeks in a row.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate you.
Shit, man. Of
Appreciate
course,
you.
Of course. Yeah, y'all put me in the chair, and then now people are hitting me that I ain't talked to in forever. I don't know how to feel about it. You only hit me when there's some controversy.
I mean, I wouldn't say all that. I think we want to get to have this conversation with you because we're some hip hop enthusiasts,
Yes,
and anything
yes.
that's going on, we were like, oh no, we.
I
gotta
will
get
say
closer
I've
to
never been, and it's been a long time since I've been called a clown this much. Shout out to all the people that call me a clown.
Yo, no, they're going crazy in the comment
Yeah,
section.
yeah, it was
man.
dope. I mean, it's dope. That's what you want, though.
For
you want,
sure.
You want engagement. You want conversation, dialogue. Why do you do this? If
Right.
you're gonna do this to have everyone agree with you, or just simply, not pay attention to what you're saying,
Right.
then why are you doing it? Like, we want the discussion. We want the dialogue. I ain't up here saying that I know everything, but shit, I know some shit.
Nah, for
You know what
sure.
I mean? So the fact that I know some shit, I'm gonna impart what knowledge and experience and things that I have to the conversation.
Mm.
And then I love what some of the people said. Some of the people said some shit that I didn't think about. So
Yeah.
that's what you want. This is what we doing. This is why I know why you guys do it, and it's why I came up here last week with a bum knee and half asleep, and then when y'all said, "Hey, let's run it back," I jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it is it's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of you just start getting those goosebumps, like man,
Yeah.
you're talking about music again,
For sure.
and talking about some good music. So
Right.
and then the fact that now, I'm sure we'll get into it, but now in our own backyard, now our city is going to be partaking in this whole development.
Right.
I'll talk about that more when we get to it. But
Yeah,
I know
man.
you wanted to get to some other stuff, but yeah, man, I think it's one, the clip that we had, I think it's at like 63,000 views currently, which is crazy.
Crazy.
But it just goes to show you, when you're being organic and you're just kind of being yourself and we're talking the way we're talking, people relate to that kind of
Right.
shit. You know what I mean? When you're trying to force conversations or you're trying to, create something that's not there, most people see through that. You might be able to get one or two off, but for the most part, people won't see through it. But when you're just really talking about stuff that people enjoy talking about, even if they disagree with you, you know what I
Right.
mean? That barbershop shit is real.
And that's what I love about it, because it seems like we're really building this community to where it's literally a hip hop barbershop conversation to where everybody's
this
getting
is.
their input in, and
That's what this is.
people come chiming in from everywhere. You know what I mean? Whether it be from LA, a lot of New York bias, obviously, what we saw in there,
yeah.
or really a lot of J bot, but That's a whole nother
J
conversation.
bias, all that. There's a lot of bias, but
Lot of.
that goes to show you that we all have our biases. We all have
for
the
sure.
things that we love,
Yeah.
things that we hate, things that we're going to stand on, things that we're fans of. That we all don't have the same opinions. We don't all have the same taste, but that's the beauty of this.
Exactly.
And I think that part, it was kind of solidified for me. I've always known that, but to see that over a discussion that we had, it's like, oh yeah, this is what this shit really is about. At the end of the day, the art is supposed to be dissected.
Yes.
If you're not dissecting it and breaking it down and really having conversations about it, then it's not having impact. So impactful shit is gonna move the needle, whether it's me saying it, you saying it, or anybody saying it. If you're saying shit that connects to people, regardless if they agree with you or not, that's part of the discourse. That's what we're creating
For
here.
sure.
And man, I was happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Even though I got cussed out of my DM by a few people. You know.
So you say people really hit your DMs and was like going crazy?
Yeah, like arguing with me and like you
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck you talking about, and you who are you to talk about music? Like you know anything about music? And I forget, like, yeah, you motherfuckers don't know who I am. Like they don't know my background or my resumes, and I don't expect them to, you know.
Sure.
But if you did, you'd probably say, "Oh shit, he might actually
he might know
he
something.
might actually know what he's talking about."
Hey, bro, I ain't meaning like that. Let me just,
Well, I did have that with somebody too, where they didn't realize. Somebody said like, "Oh, you don't have a connection this, connection that," and then I guess they went and looked at my page and they came back, "Damn, oh shit, I didn't realize you did this," and oh, you did. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm just, I'm retired. I'm old and fat. So the old and fat part. Sometimes old and fat people get hated on, bro. You know what I mean? Like if I was old, it'd be one thing, and if I was just fat, it'd be one thing. But I'm old and fat. And old and fat don't always go together.
And you think they ease up on you because
I mean, shit, bro. It made me want to go hit, LA Fitness. I'm just like, I can be one of the two. I don't want to be both because then your conversation, that's what they go to when they don't agree with you. Oh, you old fat motherfucker.
Exactly right.
And I'm, 5 years ago, I would have flashed out. I would have been in there like, man, I slapped the shit out of you, like stupid shit. And so I'm glad that I'm old now because old means like, man, I don't give a fuck what y'all think. Like, it is what it is. But I was glad that the needle moved a little bit.
No, for sure.
I'm glad that people put attention on what we were talking about because I do think it's important.
For sure. All right, let's get to it, man. I mean, it's the holiday season, right, Squirrels?
Yes, sir.
Shit.
In high school, you was a man, homie.
The fuck happened to you?
Yeah.
I'll be home for the holidays. So when you see me, better
Holla at me. Cold World is finally out on DSPs, man. Friday Night Lights. Now.
Now ask the question.
Now.
Ask the question.
Did this release step on Kendrick's GNS?
Nope. Nope. Not at all.
Oh my God.
You asked.
Do we care that it dropped? I personally think yes, it's about time.
We should care.
We should care.
Do we? No.
Yikes.
Wow.
And I love Cole. I'm gonna tell you right now. I paid my little $10 to listen to the Inevitable podcast project that he put out, which is dope. All the conversation he has with Ebe is really, really dope. It's really revealing. I love peeling back the curtain and hearing those things. So shout out to Cole and Ebe. They did an amazing job with that whole project and the way they rolled it out. And they went direct to consumer. And I'm going to touch on that in a little bit where I think a lot of this shit is going. But Web3 direct to consumer is the way to go now, especially if you're a star, especially if you have the eyes and ears.
For sure.
So I love that they did that. And part of that rollout is putting out these mixtapes to DSPs.
Right.
And the diehards love it.
For sure.
Did it step on Kendrick? No. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it.
It didn't make a dent, nothing?
Nothing?
Do you think it did? Have you seen any real in if you get on social media right now, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, I won't say Facebook because I've seen a few people mention it on Facebook.
Right.
But if you get on
I'll be honest. I've seen it one time on Twitter.
once.
And
Look,
shout
hold
out
on, bro. If you trying to tell me that you saw it one time on Twitter and you think it's making a dent, when I turn on my social media, all I see is mustard, and it's like a lunch lady with a fucking corn dog in her hand. Like, no, bro, you didn't put no dent. Also, I am a prophet.
Look, you called it. You called it last episode. You did call it.
I said,
yo,
if Heinz is gonna come out with the mustard, and then I don't know if you've seen what I sent you. They got a billboard in this bitch.
Now
that
look,
says
there
mustard,
go right there. Yeah,
mustard. But then look, what does it say underneath, Skrills?
If the goat is calling for mustard, it has to be Heinz.
Wow.
Bro.
Hey man.
Bro.
Hey man.
If the goat is calling for mustard, it has to be Heinz. What did I say last podcast? If Heinz don't jump on this, they're missing.
Yeah. You're right. So now here's the question. Since you're the marketing guy here,
Okay.
do they get a Super Bowl ad?
They should.
I think it's a must now, right?
It's a mustard.
That boy, baby.
You gotta remember, I'm a dad, bro. I'm on the dad joke shit. Wow. It's a must.
It's a mustard. That's hilarious.
Listen, yes.
Yeah. Now they
You got to get a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
If you're smart, you get DJ Mustard in that motherfucker.
Right.
Like where DJ Mustard is like, you film somewhere, he's in the suite about to eat a hot dog and he's like, they all out of mustard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
sure.
that's the kind of thing you got to start connecting the dots on.
Nah, for sure.
The thing about Kendrick dropping, when shit starts permeating through not just culture and hip hop culture, but when it's like everyday people that have no connection to the music, don't know nothing, and they're out here screaming it, it's a moment.
For sure.
In that moment, you can't take that from anybody. So that's why I say, did Cole step on anything?
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, Kendrick stepped on Cole's moment because that coming out should have been a moment.
For sure.
And if G and X don't drop, we're all talking about Friday Night Lights being back out. And
Absolutely.
we're reminiscing and we're saying, yo, I remember where I was, or this happened to me in my life when this came out, or what, like, I remember where I was when it came out because
Me too.
I was going through my negotiations trying to get out of my record deal.
Oh, wow.
And I remember like, yo, I want to drop a tape, and they wouldn't let me. And they were like, nah, you can't put anything out.
Wow.
They put a cease and desist on me dropping anything. And I remember like, yo, why? I mean, J.COLE just put out Friday Night. He's killing Crit too. Shout out to my boy Crit.
Shout out Crit.
Crit, they were putting out tapes, mixtapes that were original music, and they were killing.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, I remember that. I remember those were some of my peers, you know what I mean? And at least from a mixtape standpoint. And to see them be able to do that, and then I wasn't able to, I just remember being just fucking crushed. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I can't get shit off. So I feel like if GNX doesn't drop, and then Cole hits us with Friday Night Lights, we're all talking about it. It's all like, we having Thanksgiving talking about Cole.
Right.
And I see what he was going for with the Home for the Holidays. Like it would have been it seemed like a rollout prior to.
It's a rollout. It's a rollout. It's a rollout.
So let me ask y'all this, because I've been meaning to get y'all's take on this, but like where does Cole, and I think it's still developing and where he'll land, but in y'all's mind right now, where does Cole land as far as like, if you want to look at it like the big three, right? Like, is he forever tarnished? As great as he is?
So I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think he escaped what could have been really tarnished his legacy for real.
Sure.
Now, do I think he can ever be number one? Probably not. I don't think he could be number one. But who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows what'll happen? But I think he walked away from that a little. At first, he took a lot of heat, a lot of shots for it. But I think as the battle between Kendrick and Drake developed, and we realized that it's been personal. It's been something that was brewing for years and years and years and years and years. You know, Kobe had those relationships with people in basketball where he just, on the court, he hated you, and if he saw you, it was still love. He wanted to kill you.
Right, exactly.
And so a lot of that is just competitive nature, and hip hop is a competitive sport. So, but I think the shots and the little sneak disses and the cypher where Kendrick, sensitive rappers in their pajama clothes and all the different takes he's had, people have always known that there was some kind of little underlying beef that wasn't being said. When it finally got said, people still took it as, all right, this might just be some rap beef. This is just some competitive shit. And I think even Cole kind of thought, okay, well, they're just competing with each other.
Right. This whole top three spot, we all want to spar for it.
Big three, we want to spar for it.
Big free for all.
Yeah, right.
Winner comes out,
whatever. But I think as we get into it, I think Cole realized, and I heard from other people, I think he said, someone else said it, Schoolboy Q pulled him aside at the Dreamville and said, hey, bro, stay out of this. Like, it's not what you think it is. It's not just a rap beef. Like, this shit's it's gonna get ugly.
Right.
And I think Cole knew. Cole was like, all right, man, I'm in it for the sport. But if this is not sport, if this is we're playing basketball and I leave here, you're gonna shoot me because I dunked on you.
Right.
I don't want to play.
As I said, the street lights came on and Cole went in the house.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And that's okay.
Look, man, if you don't want to get shot,
Go in the house.
Go in the house.
Go in the
right?
house.
If you don't have your gun ready for what could, and I mean this literally, I don't mean like gun rapping. I mean, yo, this might get to the point where someone tries to peel your wig back. Yeah, bro, you should probably step out of it. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you.
Right.
And it wasn't personal enough for Cole.
Right.
Now, if Dot would have came at Cole on some fuck your family and fuck this and I'll kidnap your girl and it would have been...
Then I think Cole
Then Cole would have said, fuck it, the gloves are off, I'm going to go. But it wasn't his battle, really.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't his battle, bro.
And I'll be honest, if I have a deeper theory than that too, because, you know, and I said this before on the pod, Drake being known as the manipulator, I guess, right? I think he used Cole as a chess piece. I think he used him as a pawn.
I mean, I don't want to flat out say that. But he took the man on tour. They did this, you know, the tour together, the Bigger Than What. They had the record together. But if you want to be real, Cole is the one who, by default, set this off.
Right.
Because he said it's K. Dot, Aubrey, and me.
Yeah.
If he doesn't say that, this may just stay tucked.
It may just be subliminals.
But he said it, and K. Dot was like, "Nah, fuck that." I know the whole little backstory about that. Drake did reach out to Kendrick to try to get him on the song, and Kendrick was like, "Nah, we not doing that."
Right.
So, you know, that part is that part. Drake, I think, is in a weird position right now, and for so many different reasons. But one of the reasons he's in a weird position is that he's, especially with this lawsuit shit and all this other stuff, it's teetering on the point where people are starting to question his legacy and question the things he did and question who he is as a person. That's a whole nother ball to unravel. But Drake has always had the ability to, in my mind, and this is where hip hop is starting to go back to, is like Drake's always straddled the line between R&B, hip hop, and pop.
Sure.
Or even world music. You know what I mean? He's always straddled that line, and that's why he's in my mind, the king of all the shit he was doing is because he really could. It's almost like being Bo Jackson. That motherfucker could play basketball and football, right? And so be great at it. And be great at it. But I think when you're coming down to the culture and you're talking about hip hop, he also wanted really bad to get he wanted that. He wanted to be reviewed as, I'm Jay-Z. I'm that level of GOAT status in hip hop. That's what I respect Drake for that part, that he still cared about being, because he didn't have to.
True.
That motherfucker just went off and been a pop star and made more money and more, but he still cared. And we obviously see Kendrick cares, and I think the truth is Kendrick just cares more because he doesn't have anything to lose. Like for him, this is it. Hip hop and the culture is everything that he is.
Yeah.
And so for him, he's gonna stand on that. I want to be the GOAT. And so when you want to be the GOAT, I think he just wanted it more than Drake, and he was willing to
take it there.
You know, call him a PDF file. and,
Facts.
You know, go all out. So to me, that's where this, I don't know if Drake ever gets back in the conversation for best rapper. Now, I think this lawsuit really, I'll tell you, well, I guess we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Because I was going to go back to Cole real quick. As far as him getting back to the number one spot, I think he has the ability to. And here's why. We know what's going on now.
Sure.
But if the fall off, which is the album everybody's waiting on, if it exceeds expectations, I think we forget about My Delete Later. We forget about all that, and then he might get back to that number one spot.
Here's my piece on especially on hip hop and the culture is that conversation. I agree with you under these guidelines. To me, hip hop, especially the competitive nature and the metrics and the data and all the it's almost like an NBA season. Every year, unless you're a repeat champ, there's always a new champ. And timing matters. If Kendrick decides next year he's not putting out any music, he's taking breaks, then yes, Cole can get back in that conversation for the year or for 24 months or whatever.
Right.
But if we're talking about the greatest of this generation, I won't say of all time, but the greatest of this run, their run all combined, if you start 2009, 2010, Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and you judge him until now, I think that Kendrick's career And it's not simply just from a standpoint of who sold the most records. We know who did that.
Are we talking impact?
But we're talking about impact on the culture, on regions, on all those things. I think it's K-Dot, right? It's clearly K-Dot, and I think it'll probably stay that way unless he has a fumble.
Right.
But K-Dot ain't really had... I mean, I know people will say Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, but to me, like I said, I think the timing of that album is what sucked. But I listened to that album this week and was like, yo, there's some shit on here.
It's some good songs.
Some good songs, bro.
Sure.
So he's never not made quality music.
Right.
I can make the argument that Drake's had a few, I don't want to say duds, but he's had a few things that are not. He has some, to me, has some incredible, Take Care is still one of my favorite.
And classic. It's a classic.
Thank Me Later, I still love. There's records he has that I still love, right? Cole's had a few, I don't want to say duds, but just missteps. I think Kendrick, because of TDE, we talked about TDE having quality control.
Right.
Punch and Top and Rhett and all those guys over there, they made sure that whatever left from Kendrick was damn near perfect.
Right.
And I think Mr. Morale was obviously we're going through the pandemic, COVID. He was in a writing slump. He had survivor's guilt. He couldn't make any other music. And I think he had to get that off. I think the timing of it sucked because, like I said in the last pod, that's just, nobody wanted to hear that at that time. But I think now, because he got it off and he's off TDE, PG Lang, and they're saying, hey, the governor's off. You're the star now. You're the artist. You're the exec. You're Jay-Z now. You can decide when and where and how. And I think we're going to get it changed my mind from when I was here a week ago. I said, man, I think this is the album until the Super Bowl, and then maybe he'll drop. I think we're about to get a bunch of Kendrick music. I think he's just going to drop Lucy's, he's going to drop albums, double albums. I told you my man hit me and said that he's in the studio this weekend with Alchemist. Man, so
Kendrick and Al again. I mean, we saw what happened last time Kendrick and Al was in. They dropped something. That's all I got. That's all I got to do. Cause y'all know the song. Y'all know the song that happened. All right, man. So we gonna get to it. Why the finger snap happened? Because what happened after the finger snap was, dun, 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 and now here we are, the lawsuit live.
All right,
in
man.
Our backyard of San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, so explain that part first for those that don't know how this.
Texas filing shows Drake Kendrick feud leads to iHeartMedia UMG lawsuit. Does this mean a Drake and Kendrick Lamar appearance in San Antonio? Of course, someone would say that. Shut up! I can't stand y'all. None of that matters if they pull up to the city. Who cares? It's the fact that iHeartMedia is here.
Hold on.
Being
you don't
accused
think it matters if they're going to pull up here?
I'll be honest. I don't care.
You don't.
I don't.
The whole city will care.
They're not,
and that's whack to me.
They're not pulling up to the damn ham show?
Listen. Listen. Listen.
Nobody's pulling up to see hamburger. Nobody cares.
Stop it.
Listen.
Go for it, bro.
Kendrick or Drake showing up in Houston or Dallas or even Chicago, Atlanta, that happens.
Yeah.
San Antonio does not happen.
I was more excited than them shooting Yellowstone downtown.
I get that. I am too. I mean, but I'm saying
I thought that was cool.
But I'm saying for fans of the music and the culture and all that. I'll give you an example. I remember Tim Duncan sued his old business partner, and Kevin Garnett had to come to San Antonio to testify. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember this, Skrills? And bro,
yeah, I do.
There was hundreds of people downtown to see Kevin Garnett to go testify.
That's hilarious.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, people here, I get the excitement. The reason it's filed here, I think, is very interesting.
If you want to explain that, go ahead, bro.
So iHeartMedia is headquartered in San Antonio.
Correct.
And they're the largest conglomerate of radio stations in the United States.
Right.
So the lawsuit...
Formerly Clear Channel, for those who don't know.
Clear Channel, which was launched by Red McCombs, who used to own the Spurs.
Right.
All the Red McCombs dealerships, all that. So Clear Channel is the radio, now iHeartMedia.
It's the Titan.
They're the Titan.
Sure.
So Drake is also a Texas resident now. So a lot of people don't know that, but he moved his residence. I think he has a ranch somewhere, and I think he has a place in I think somewhere in Katy. I've heard all.
Yeah, I heard all kinds of places.
But he's living in Texas. His residency is like he's filing taxes as a Texas resident.
Right.
So filing in San Antonio and also knowing that iHeart is here in Bexar County, And yet, by the way, DJ Academics, it's not Bexar, it's Bexar County. I saw that he
You dweeb.
Bexar County.
Bexar County. I hate you.
Yeah. So
You dweeb. What a loser. Go ahead, bro.
it's not even a lawsuit yet. It's a petition to file for information, all that. But being that it's here in San Antonio, one, our court system here is not as full of just cases the way a Dallas or a Houston or even Austin is. So that's one. The fact that they're headquartered here, they can't use travel as the reason for a delay. Like, oh, you're going to sue me in L.A., I have to fly to L.A. to do like to be, to be deposed or whatever. So having in San Antonio means this is just access to the head honchos at iHeartMedia.
Yeah.
We should back up a little bit because last time the lawsuit we didn't even talk about it because it hadn't happened yet.
No, but now this man had filed too.
What is your take? Because I'm gonna give you some takes, but I want to know your take first.
From a rap standpoint, hip hop standpoint, it's whack. I think he's proving Kendrick's point with the whole "not like us" thing, right? It's super whack as a business because Drake is a brand. It's a business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I get what he's doing. I get it. But at the same time, this is also a double-edged sword. And here's why. Especially when it comes to hip-hop, right? You go take someone to court. It gets frowned upon, right? For anything. You're like, yo, why are you taking this man to court? Like, but then you ignore it and people were like, that's when the whispers start getting louder. It's like, the whole PDF thing. You know what I mean? So then you end up going to court and then now it's like, oh, now you really look guilty. So, yo, is you really doing the... You know what I'm saying? So I think I'll be honest, this is a lose-lose for the man. So like I want to have empathy, but
I don't have no empathy for that part.
But for a rap standpoint, it's super whack. I'll be honest with you.
This is the awareness part I talk with Drake. Timing is everything in anything, in business and all that.
Yeah.
Drake, and he may not have known that Kendrick was dropping an album, so maybe he told him to file it and he was gonna do it because he's trying to, maybe he didn't know.
Yeah.
It looks like the timing of it looks like Kendrick dropped an album, it's going crazy, and then your lawsuit gets announced. They may have been working on this lawsuit for a month, 2 months. That those briefs aren't, I mean, they can file them pretty quickly, but it probably wasn't a matter of days. It was probably over the course of weeks.
Right.
And people have heard the pieces about Drake negotiating for his next deal and all that, and he felt like they were trying to, do something to him or
to where now
gain a thing.
Right.
This is where I get deep. And I get into some shit that's probably gonna get me fucking, who knows, bro? They'll come for me for saying this, but I will say it because I don't give a fuck. I've already gone through the industry system, and I can tell you everything.
Sure.
And this goes into some, systemic oppression type shit. But I'm gonna be really upfront with people, and I know it's not now. You're not supposed to talk about wokeness or any of those kind of things anymore. But I don't give a fuck. This is real shit.
Talk to me.
So, what I know about the music industry, and especially music execs, the higher ups, the guys who really control and pull the strings, the Lucian Grange for one.
Right.
He's a British guy, not a hip hop guy. He's been in the music business since 1978. Had a lot to do with rock music. Never been a hip hop guy. Now, obviously, hip hop was an art form that just took over in the 90s and in the 2000s and the 2010 eras. Hip hop was the biggest selling music. And I am watching in real time them dismantling that. I've watched them do this over the last 5 years, 6 years. They've dismantled it. If you go check the charts, other than a Kendrick or a few of these guys, Drake, hip-hop has not been the prevalent seller anymore. They've purposely went out and disrupted the formula. And what they did is they fragmented all of music. They took music and they said, all right, man, we're gonna put a highlight on this kind of music and this kind of music and this kind of music. And it's all music that doesn't really go together. But we all label it the same thing. We call it hip hop, even though you have trap and hyphy and, emo music and drill music and all these subgenres that are created from, the mind of these young people who want to be seen and heard. And then they're told to be seen and heard on a level, you have to do this, right?
Right.
What they don't want, and I know this for a fact because I was, like I said, I was around, shout out to Johnny Shipes and the people I was signed to, but Big U, who was behind Nip. Some of these execs, they were able to get into the music business, and when they did, street motherfuckers, the real street motherfuckers got in there and got a hold of it. And they don't want that.
Right.
They don't want, and I don't want to make it a race thing. even though it's predominantly African American men it's more of a class thing. They just don't want the street element in their boardrooms.
Right.
And they really don't. And they know that if you have a successful artist, I'll say it like this is the best way to say it. They fear another Jay-Z. And what I mean by that is they fear an executive who literally can dictate the flow of things, can tell them this is how you're going to market something. You're going to give me budgets. They fear another Diddy. And maybe for the right reasons, right? You see the stuff going on with Diddy. But what I'm saying is they fear that.
Another black man having control and power.
And also getting away with the things they've always gotten away with.
Sure.
You know, if you know the history of like Clive Davis and his, craziness out there, there's a ton of them. You can go back to the 60s and 70s and you look at how the Italian mafia infiltrated music and took it over, and they pushed out a ton of African Americans. And Berry Gordy was one of the ones who stood on it. And there's been some guys that stood on it. You look at what QC did. They really try to dismantle what they built because they don't want those type of people in power. I'm not saying everybody, right? I'm not saying that it's the entire industry, but there is certain powers that be that don't want to have to go up against a Jay-Z or a Suge Knight or anyone of that nature because they don't play by music industry rules.
Right.
You fuck me over, I might blow your head off, and they don't want that.
Right.
So that's why they're slowly peeling away and letting hip hop be they still want to make money off of it.
Sure.
But they're letting it be subgenres and communities, and they're saying, all right, we don't want this to be a global thing anymore. We want this to be pockets. We want New York City and the West Coast to have their own thing. And I think if you really want to be honest about it, Drake was the guy, regardless of what people, manipulator, and he's a liar, and he's fucking trying to fuck everybody's baby mama and all that.
Right.
Well, newsflash, that's what people with power and money do.
True.
It's not a Drake thing. That's every big time rapper I've ever met or exec I've ever met. I say I've only met 3 or 4 of them that are real people, that are genuine and they ain't trying. But most of them are they're power driven, they're money hungry. They're used to getting their way, and they'll do anything. And Drake is no different. So right. I don't think of Drake as some like villain or whatever. The truth though is Drake was the closest one to becoming that next exec, that next guy who had his hands on the strings and could pull the puppet strings and say, I'm making this artist a star, I'm making this artist a star, I'm making this artist a star. I'm taking all my homies and I'm making them execs. They don't want the LeBron James with his crew. They don't want Maverick Carter. They don't want Rich Paul. Just like in basketball, they don't want that. They don't want the artists or the players having control. And a lot of it they can't fight because when you become a megastar, you get to throw your weight around. You get to slang that. You get to swing your dick around and say, hey, I'm a star. If you want to keep making money off me, you have to do these things.
Right.
And I think that Drake, this is not a Kendrick thing. I really don't think it is. It's viewed that way, and this is where I think he's tone deaf and he doesn't have a lot of awareness, is that, and it may be because there's so much shit online, maybe he doesn't even get online anymore, and maybe he doesn't have good advisors. If I'm advising him, if I'm his fucking manager, I'm saying, hey, we need to do this. I understand why you want to do it. We need to wait. We need to wait, and then we need to have a rollout for this lawsuit. We need to say, hey, we're suing for these reasons, but it has nothing to do with the battle. It's just these practices. We're going to, fuck it. We're going to expose everything because they're trying to take me out of the business and they don't want me to be an executive and they don't want me to run the gamut. Well, then fuck it. Nobody can. And I think that's his take. His take is he's using the Kendrick thing to be the podium he stands on for it. But really for Drake, it's, all right, man, y'all not going to let me in. Y'all not going to let me control shit. Then nobody can. Fuck that, because I've worked my ass off and I want that. So this is where I shoot him some bail, where I say, all right, man, this is the move you were trying to make. However, from a rap standpoint, from a battle standpoint, this is stuff that you do when you know the coast is clear.
Right.
And maybe it's a contractual thing. Maybe his contract's up in a month before the end of the year and he's trying to get out of it or find a way to renegotiate. I don't know. But I think Drake is in this. He's in a weird place because he got belt to ass. Right. Right? A lot of fans have turned on him. He still has diehard fans, but a lot of fans, especially people in the culture, people that came up, who've listened to hip hop, who understand the so-called rules of hip hop or the so-called, those people have said, he's always been a fraud. He's always been he's been a tourist, is what people look at him. He's a
Right.
tourist. I don't necessarily believe that, but at the end of the day, if you're not staying true to the art form, then yeah, you're gonna have to play these games, right? You're gonna have to, and that's the one thing that I think Dot has never lost his integrity in this. He's never done anything overtly corny. He's never done anything to really tarnish his legacy. He hasn't done those things. J.COLE's a guy who hadn't done any of those things until the battle thing, and then but I don't think it tarnished him the way it did. Drake, however, has had a bunch of missteps. The Pusha T shit, even today they keep going back over it, like, people writing for him, the Meek Mill shit. You know?
Right.
I mean, he came for his ass, and back to back was that
A huge record.
fucking amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. But again, that's the part that I think is not lost on me, is that Drake has had some slips, and he, to his credit, he's rebounded really well. He's always been able to kind of reinvent himself, or dust himself off, and this one I don't think he'll be able to do that as well. And on top of that, I think this lawsuit, it just looks corny. It just looks like sore loser shit. I don't think that was his intention. But once you get those legal things in motion, there's no stopping the ball.
It, right?
You notice he hasn't made any statement, or he hasn't tried to defend it, or he hasn't had anyone put anything out there, because I think even he was like, damn. And so we
It's
talk
like
about
everything he makes or does, it's like a landmine.
Here's the thing. Kendrick and GNX stomped on his lawsuit. His rollout for his lawsuit is what happened. In my mind, that's what happened.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, bro. But I think right now Drake is isolated. He's not getting a lot of good advice. He's probably just around a lot of lawyers. And lawyers are going to lawyer.
Right.
Lawyers lawyer, bro. They're going to say, let's sue.
Right.
And he don't know, like, well, fuck. Oh, they really, and they're telling him, they're not telling him you should do this to Kendrick. They're saying UMG and Spotify and iHeartMedia, they helped him and they didn't help you. Even though Drake has been helped by those same entities for fucking years.
Years. Because he's been around for what, 10 plus years?
But here's the thing. Again, look, man, if they change the rules on you after you've benefited from the rules for 10 years,
right,
and then somebody else gets to benefit from those same rules or the same help, you're gonna feel like, oh, y'all don't think I'm the king no more.
Right.
I mean, fuck, I'm gonna tear this whole, it's a tantrum.
Yeah.
I'm tearing this whole shit down. But I do think that there's a piece of it is Drake was about to get handed the keys to the industry. I don't think that this whole beef, I think this was happenstance. I don't think that Universal and Interscope conspire to say, let's get Kendrick to take out Drake. I don't think they did that. I think it happened on its own organically. And once it did, and because it was
almost like Universal saw a loophole, or it was just like,
or more so an opportunity.
Yeah, an opportunity for
it's
sure.
It's an opportunity. But again, it's a victory lap. It's, all right, let's accelerate this. Let's beat this shit into the ground. And Drake didn't expect that with a diss record.
Right.
Diss records are they threw the first 5 diss records out on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then they would come out on streaming platforms, and but no, like, yeah, people were listening to them, but it wasn't the same thing. Once Universal and Spotify and iHeartMedia and TikTok saw all the engagement on their platform of people making these videos, screaming out they not like us and certified pedophile and wop, that generates, all right, man, we got to keep pushing this thing because it's money for all of us.
Right.
And at the end of the day, what do you think these motherfuckers care about? They don't care. They don't care whether these motherfuckers die. They don't. I'm not saying that it's all like that. There's people in the building that have a relationship with artists.
Sure.
But for the most part, these executives,
they're about the money.
They about the money. They don't care. They don't care. The hood and the streets and the culture, it means nothing to them. It just means can we
profit off of that?
Profit off of it. That's all it means.
That's all it is to them.
And so that's why like I said, bro, I shoot Drake not a lot, but a little bit of bail. Just a little bit. Because I think that's what they took it. I don't even know if they did it purposely, but I think he is like, I'm gonna tear this bitch down. And they were like, oh shit. They don't want to see the artists ever be in control.
Right.
They don't. Because Jay-Z is scary to him. He can walk in and say, man, the Super Bowl and all that shit, he has all that shit in his hands.
Right.
They don't want that.
Dang, man. No, I never thought about it from that perspective. Because now it definitely changes things. And obviously like you said, it gives Drake a little bit of bail because it's the time, like you said.
Do I think that was his intention? Maybe a little bit. Maybe there's a little sore loserness in that, but some of it is like, nah, fuck, y'all gonna destroy me? Shit, I'm destroying this whole industry then. And what I say to that is, good for him. Destroy it.
So is this the red button that he was talking about?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll look into the camera and say this. As a fan of the culture, I want him to blow it up. Blow it the fuck up. Artists, go direct to consumer. Web3. Stop relying on these fucking executives to tell you how to make music and how to sell it. You can build this thing, and we talked about it last time. Build it. I don't care if it takes you 5 fucking years. If you go through 4 years of being dead broke and have nothing to show for it and it's not working, keep chipping away at it. Do not stop. Do not stop. You can pivot. You can change it up, whatever, but do not stop. Just keep your foot on the gas and do it your fucking way. It is our art. It is our culture. It's not theirs. They're manipulating and taking money from it. There is some good executives out there. I can't say that. There's people out there that I admire. There's people, shout out to Troy Carter. Troy Carter is one of my idols. Larry Jackson at Apple. I fuck with what Larry's done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is where I want it to go. I want you to blow this shit up. Let's take the culture back. Let's take hip hop back. Let's own it.
Facts.
Because the truth is we do own it. It is the people who create it, the people who live and breathe it, that is who should say when, where, how, and why. No fucking executive should dictate how the culture moves. And that's the only part of the Drake thing that I fucking love. Blow it up. Now, he's going to ruin his career by doing that. Yeah. To a degree.
And I'll be honest. I think, and I said this before too, I think he should go like fully independent because he still has the fan base and support to still put records out and make plenty of money for himself and support himself.
He does. Right now, I mean, you look at Ye. Ye did this with the little MP3 player, you know.
Right, the stem player.
Right. When he put that out, people thought it was crazy, bro. That motherfucker sold 2 million of those.
Yeah. I remember you bought one.
I bought one.
And you showed me how I was like, yo, no, this is pretty innovative. This is dope.
Tangible product, right? We're getting back to the era of tangible product. Here's something I saw today, and this shows you the value of music. 1995, a compact disc on average was $14 for one CD. One CD. And there was no YouTube. If you wanted to hear it, you had to buy the CD.
Right.
Right now, you pay $9.99 to have access to every fucking song in the world. So they've devalued the music, and then you don't have to pay the streaming. If you want to hear the song, you can go to YouTube and hear it for free.
Right.
And artists have to stop doing that. And what I say by that is like, yeah, you can have stuff you give out to everybody, but then there should be stuff that you save only for the people who fucking resonate with it and connect to it. Like, stop thinking that you have to roll these things out the way they tell you to roll them out. No, be innovative. Make everything you do cater to the people that you know. Know your fucking audience.
Bingo.
And everybody wants to be this global superstar. They're not letting us do that unless you have a shitload of money.
Right.
So build it. Say, this is the kind of artist I am. This is the kind of person I am. Who is similar to me? I'll give you a fucking really good example of it. And it's not even a hip hop thing. But you look at Joe Rogan, right? Why did Joe Rogan blow the fuck up the way he did? Because he targeted bros. He said, there's people out here that love UFC, they love aliens, they love conspiracy theories, they love smoking weed.
Yeah.
He targeted a specific audience, and that audience of 5,000 people went to 10,000 people, went to 20,000 people, went to 150, then it was 1 million, then it was 5 million, and then you're moving the needle and you have 20 million listeners a month.
I was going to say, yeah.
But he built that for 12, 13, 14 fucking years.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to give your life to this, stop. Don't do it then. You're not going to fucking hit the lottery. You might. You might put out a song and it goes viral and it changes your life. Great.
Great.
But your chances of fucking doing that are so slim. So I would say the same thing to even what Drake is doing. Bro, if you come back out, control it. Get out of this. If you're doing this, and I think there's part of that, he may just trying to find a way to get out of his fucking contract.
Right.
And if he does,
like we were saying before, for sure.
If he does, he doesn't need them. No. They need him.
They need him.
And he doesn't need them.
Right.
Kendrick doesn't need them. Other artists do because they're not at that level. They need money and ecosystem and things behind them. But my counter to that is we collectively as a community can do that. In this city right now, if I said, hey man, there's 50 drug dealers that I know, and I know 50 drug dealers. I used to be one.
I was gonna say I think I know 52, but
Right. I know 50 drug dealers, right? And I haven't dealt drugs in fucking 10 years.
Right.
Or been even around that really. I've been raising my kids and everything. But
Sure.
I know dope boys. I used to be one. I used to run with them. All my older homies that I'm with, they're all XD boys, whatever, right? You got 50 of them together. And you say, hey man, y'all need to wash this money. Let's pull it together and let's do this. That's what all these fucking record labels everywhere else have done.
Facts.
When I started my shit, I didn't sell drugs to wash it. I sold drugs because I wanted to buy equipment. I wanted to make music.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of a lot of guys who got into music because they wanted to get out of the drug game. I got into the drug game so I could make music. And that is fact. I didn't do it for any other reason. I didn't do it because I wanted to floss or I wanted a nice car. I didn't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
I sold drugs so I could make hip hop.
Wow.
But that's what I'm saying, the sacrifices that you have to make. And you look at Kendrick. Kendrick is somebody, the reason why I identify with him so much and love what he's done is because you go back and watch, he's just been building this. And yes, he's had great minds and great people. You have to build a team and you have to do all of that.
Right.
So that's all this shit is to me, is if we're going to blow this shit up, it's okay. You don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't even need Spotify. People
No.
think you do. You don't.
You don't.
Yo, there's motherfuckers out here for $500 in India that will build you an app. And you can, and I got something coming out I'm working on. Like,
Yeah.
yo, put out your own shit. You do not have to give in and think that's the way. I would rather all these people do what Kendrick's doing for these young artists that he put on. They're immediately plugged into the machine without having to be in the machine.
Exactly.
And people are flooding it. I mean, bro, the amount of shit I've seen from J.COLE and fucking Lefty Gunplay and Peso, they're everywhere.
Everywhere now.
From being on a #1 album. Look at the giants that we're talking about. We're talking about the big three.
Right.
And this just hit me. How did they become the anomalies in the music industry? Did the execs put them on? No.
No.
They were put on. Jay-Z put on J.COLE.
Right.
Lil Wayne put on Drake.
Right.
And Dr. Dre
Put on Kendrick.
put on Kendrick.
Right.
You have icons, legends who built this from the ground up, who weren't industry plants. They weren't industry created. Yes, when they accelerated, the industry added gas to the fire, but it took those 3 icons to introduce 3 new icons.
The next wave.
The next wave. That's what we have to do without the structure of these execs. We need to push the execs out. The execs can be in, but it's the give and take right now. The execs want us out.
Right.
Of the boardroom at least. Yeah. Yes, we still want you to go create the art so we can monetize it and make money off of it.
For sure.
And gain from it. We love that part of it. We want to take the culture and sell it.
Right.
Because we live in America and it's a capitalistic society and all those things. And I'm not even telling people like, man, go independent. That's not even the right word for it anymore. That's just the cliche, like, nah, man, align with whoever you can. Why hasn't any artist aligned with a brand? And what I mean by this is my marketing brand thing.
I was going to say, yeah, talk to me. It sounds like you're about to get in your bag for sure.
Right, look, this is my bag.
Yeah.
Let's take, I'll take fucking Drake, for example.
Okay.
Drake gets out of this deal. This is the scenario that I envision. This is how I would advise him.
Yeah.
You get out of this deal with Universal. You're able to get a breach of contract through whatever. You said defamation, all this, the petition. It's just to get out of your contract. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Sure.
Maybe it's not. Maybe he's just a bitch. There's no other way to put it. That's some bitch shit.
Right.
But maybe not. You get out of your contract, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, you know what? My next album, to fund it, I'm going to do a deal with Mercedes-Benz. And I'm going to say, Mercedes-Benz, I'm going to put out my album. And in all my videos, I'm gonna be driving the Benz.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna drive the new electric Benz. I'm gonna drive this. And then when you get my new out, you're gonna give me the money to make my album that I don't have to recoup. I don't have to recoup it like I would with a regular record label. You give me money, they have to make their money back before you get your money back. For Mercedes, they're paying you as a brand sponsor. So you're going to be in the commercial driving this new Benz. In all your videos, you're driving the new Benz. In songs, you're mentioning the new Benz. And even on, you say, oh man, I'm on the streaming platform, I'm on Spotify. Well, one of the tracks or two of the tracks on my album is an ad for Mercedes-Benz. It could be me talking.
Right.
But I could say, hey, go get this new EQ 500 out now. And then you go right back and you could have a DJ scream it out. You could have Khaled be like, yo, new Mercedes, we the best.
Right.
That's all you need to do. So you put those things together and you have a brand aligned with the music and you put it out that way. And you don't need the record labels anymore. You need brand partners.
I don't know if you remember this album. Of course you do. But I'm just saying it just, for context. Jay-Z.
Magna Carta,
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
The Samsung deal.
Yeah. And go into that. Think about that.
Yeah.
The reason why they do not want someone like Drake, to have power, or even a Kendrick. They don't want Kendrick to be in control of anything.
Right.
They just want to manipulate it and again, there's a give and take there. They can't just tell an artist like Kendrick right now can get anything he wants from the label.
Anything he wants, for sure.
But at some point when you go to negotiate, those things change. They try to say, oh, well, you can't do this. And the thing that I say about Jay is, look at all the things that Jay tried to do from that. He did the deal with Samsung.
Right.
Record labels got scared.
They did.
Oh shit.
Because that was a game changer.
That was a sign. That's why I brought it up. That was a sign.
It could happen.
It could happen. Here's two. Why would Spotify manipulate and try to help somebody? Because they don't want Jay-Z try to start a rival streaming service in Tidal.
Tidal, yeah.
They don't want Drake to get out of his deal and say, you know what, fuck Spotify. I'm going to do an exclusive deal with Apple Music. Or I'm creating OVO streaming.
OVO streaming.
Or what? They do not want competition. So it's the same thing like politicians when they have big companies lobby for them and they say, we don't want you giving small businesses loans. Why do they not want small businesses to have loans? Because small businesses with loans can turn into big businesses. And big business can compete against other big business. Record labels are always going to look out for themselves. These companies, these media companies, these streaming companies, these radio stations, they're always going to look out for their bottom line. And it is time for artists to start looking out for theirs. This was probably the only out that his lawyer saw. Man, you could sue for defamation and you could say they were using bots and they were using this and Drake knows that they've done all that for him.
Right.
And I think his attitude is, if y'all gonna bring the house down on me, I'm gonna bring it down on y'all. That's how he feels about it.
Yeah.
I can't excuse him for that.
Yeah.
But I'm waving the flag. Bring it down.
So with that,
I'll probably get murdered in the comments for this shit, but it's all good.
I'll be honest with you. I think this is gonna be more positive your way than, you know what I mean? Because even in the comment section today, reading it, people were like, yo, I didn't think of it from that perspective. There was some people that was in there was like, I didn't think of it that way. I think there's gonna be more of that.
Sure. And then there will be people that, and again, this is what I love about it, right?
Yeah.
Engage.
Yes.
Like I encourage anyone watching this, get in the comments, tag me, tag Mazi, tag Skrills, tag everybody. And if you disagree, man, you're an idiot, you're a clown. I love all that shit. Because I'm finally at a place in my life where all the damaging part of it I can remove and I look at it objectively, and say, all right, you're making your point. And there was some points in there where I was like, okay, I didn't think about that. That's what I want. I don't want to be right all the time at all. I want to be wrong more than I'm right, because then that means I can keep evolving and learning. And so yeah, man, this shit is I want the engagement. You know what I mean? This platform deserves to be seen and heard more. And so if what it takes is just talking some shit, then let's talk some shit,
man.
You know what I mean? And it's good shit. It's not, we're not out here trying to degrade the culture or trying to hurt people. We just talking about music. You know
Especially when it comes to the hip hop culture in general. We're just fans of hip hop.
I am. And I think that's why I thank y'all for bringing me on. I got to really nerd out. And at the end of the day, what I realize is like, these things there is a lot of division, right? And there's a lot of things where just the music that we grew up on, and the reason why we're seeing kind of a resurgence of it is people my age are finally in a position of power. They're becoming execs, or they're becoming radio DJs, or they're at a point where they have some money and they just want to put some of their disposable income behind stuff that they love. And so I think we're seeing this resurgent. And in a couple years, people get bored of that. I think this last 10 years has been about vibes in music. It's just, I want to vibe out and I feel something. But everything in music is cyclical. It's always going to go in a cycle. And so we're going to see that phase of that. And then people start to say, man, this shit's boring. I've heard the same shit for 5 albums. who's going to come with something different. And I think right now, and it doesn't have to be mainstream. I don't give a fuck if it's the mainstream. I don't have nothing against any of that other shit but I know what I love. I love hip hop, lyricism, creativity, melodies, fucking, heavy drums. Like, that's the shit I'm into. So if you're making some other shit, cool, make it. There's an audience for it. But I think that's where we talk about community and tribe is so important. You got to find your audience. If you don't know your fucking audience, you don't know who to sell to.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem with everybody. Kendrick knows his audience. Drake knows his audience. Now, again, it's years and years and years of tinkering and playing and saying, okay, this song resonates the most, and this is what moves the needle on social media. You have to cater to your audience. If you ain't doing that shit, then you're just throwing shit out and hoping that maybe
something sticks.
Something sticks. Fuck that. Find your audience, even if it's 10 people. Because if the 10 people really love what you're doing,
they're gonna talk about
they're gonna talk about you. And then they're gonna turn their 10 friends into fans, and those 10 fans, if you can find 1,000 fans, just 1,000.
Yeah.
And it's harder than it sounds. It's not as easy as people think. But
It really
1,000 diehard fans. And when I say diehard, I don't mean like they listen to you every once in a while. They're really motivated and intrigued by what you do. And this doesn't just attract rappers. We can talk about content. We can talk about anything.
Sure.
But if you can get 1,000 people to give you $10 a month, that's $100,000. That's $120,000 a year. And then you say, all right, man, I'm taking 70 of this to live on. Next year, you now have 50 racks to put into your business, which is your career.
Right.
And you can go run ads, and you can try to get that number from 1,000 to 2,000 people.
Right.
Just double it. 50 grand will probably let you double it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
You can be very, very, you can go hire influencers. You can go create things that put people into it.
Yeah.
And you get 2,000 people the following year. You don't need 3 million fans.
It's true.
You need 3 million fans if you're in a bullshit deal with a record label that's only giving you 3 cents a sale. Yes,
Right.
you need 3 million
Yeah,
fans.
you need 3 million.
But you don't if you do it direct to consumer. You build your audience, you build your community. Now, I'm not saying getting 1,000 fans is easy. It's not.
Nah, it's not.
It's not. But if you can continually just keep hitting them consistently and building it up and creating a network and getting people to talk and feel like they're part of it, when they're part of it, what do? They go tell everybody.
Tell everybody else, yeah.
And that's what you got to create. You got to create and know who your audience is.
Yeah.
And the best way to find your audience is to say, who's like me? What do I like? These are the artists I like, and I make music that sounds like this.
Right.
That's who I'm going to find. I'm not trying to give it to everybody because not everybody's going to like that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you go.
This is why he's back to back with it.
Back to back.
I went back to back.
You feel me?
I like that. I like
I see
that.
what you did there, man. No, this is a dope convo, man. This is actually a really great breakdown. Because I do think I see this coming as far as Drake stepping away and doing his own thing. That I can see.
I mean, he kind of hinted it because he did that 100 gig shit,
right?
And
even then when he was dropping those songs, even the label didn't approve of it,
right?
Because he was just like, yo, why? They're like, why are you doing this? We can make money, and it's like, I see what's going on.
Yeah, he's trying to plant his flag as like, and I think that's the only way he can. I'll say this, and this is probably the last little take on it.
Sure.
There's also the third scenario, the master manipulator part. I think Drake is the only motherfucker that, in this situation is like, all right, man, how do I save my career?
Yeah.
I've been called a pedophile. I've been called a manipulator. I lost to Drake. I lost to Kendrick. How can I save my career? I can do it by becoming the hero, the Dark Knight. I can bring the whole system down on its head.
Right.
And then I'm celebrated as
A martyr.
I'm a martyr. I saved culture. I even saved Kendrick.
And it was all a lie.
It was all this shit's been a lie all along. My fame and success, though I feel like I'm great, I'm this, but it was accelerated by the machine. Kendrick being able to have the success off of beating me is from the machine. The machine needs to be blown up. And then if he does it successfully without where it looks petty, where he's just trying to take Dot out, which
Right.
he didn't really name Dot in the suit. He named all the execs and the companies.
Right.
If he does that and Dot's not affected by it, and he's able just to say, boom, I'm blowing this shit up, then I think people will look at him differently in a year.
Right.
Will he ever be looked at for music the same way? Probably not.
Probably not.
But at that point,
who cares?
The guy's made his money. Now
Right.
he can go, all right, I'm creating a new platform. I'm creating a new industry, a new ecosystem. And then you're heralded as a hero.
Right.
So there's a possibility that's what he's going for. He may be playing the long game.
I'll be honest. Go that route, Drake. If you just happen to see
Push
this, push the red button.
Push the button.
You said push the red button. Everything gets detonated.
Push it for artists like me. I was there, bro. I was right at the top. Had a deal. My album was about to come out, and because of politics that had nothing to do with me, my whole career got stalled out, and I became so jaded and angry at just the music business and just all of it. So do it for me. Do it for the people that you know should have been stars that because of whatever, because of budgets or because of somebody just didn't like, they're like, I don't really like hip hop like that. And
Well, the politics of the business too.
The politics of it. So blow it up.
Blow it up.
Let the culture rebuild it. Let the culture dictate what the culture does. And if we do that, everything will be fine. These creators online, man, this new generation has found a way to tap in and make money off of art and creativity. So fuck all of them, dog. Fuck every one of them. Unless, they cool and they're in the system just because there's no other system. I get it. And I give you a pass on that. And when I say I got homies in the industry, I got guys I came up with that are all high ups at different labels.
Yeah.
And I got nothing but love for them and respect. So I don't technically want to see them lose their job and their profession. So, but at the same time, hopefully they can be part of the revolution.
And start something
new and fresh. And
yeah.
Us as creators have to take back the hip hop that we love and we cherish, that we grew up on. Like, we got to quit crying about how, the industry doesn't love real hip hop. So what? Who gives a fuck? Why do you care about whether the industry cares about it? Do you fucking care?
Do you care about it?
If you care about it, support it. I hate when I see people say, man, bring real hip hop back. No, motherfucker, if you like real hip hop, then you fucking do something about it. Why is that onus always on kids, these young kids that have no connection to this shit? They don't know it. Man, like, if we love the hip hop that we love, then support it. And you don't need 1 million people to support it. If there's only 50 of us that like high level rapping, so what? Because at the end of the day, our hip hop isn't for everyone. Our culture isn't for everyone. The type of hustle we have isn't for everyone. And that's how I live my life. It ain't for everyone. But the people that it's for, that's who we're giving it to. And that's it.
I like that.
The more you know.
The more you know. Hey, man.
I queued up my own drop.
He do this, man. All right, question. If they want to get a hold of you and DM you about your bad takes, man, where can I hit you up?
At Mazi's World. Official.
It's at Mazi's World Official. Hit me up.
At Mazi's World Official. You have any problem with me, just hit them. Because I don't want no smoke. No, I like the smoke. I like having the conversation. As long as you,
absolutely.
I give this warning to anybody. I probably shouldn't because they will. Just don't say shit about my kids. Other than that, I don't give a fuck what you say about me. I'm not talking about my kids. I had to run up on somebody for talking about my kids once. So,
nah, I'm with you. You know what I mean?
But other than that, at question210 on Instagram. I don't really get on TikTok, but my page is at A Tribe Called Question.
Yeah, that's hard.
You want to send me some videos in there or whatever, cool.
For sure. Besides that Mazi's World Official, you can catch me trying to get a P Money interview at the whole prison that she's located at.
I really hope she's alive, bro.
Nah, I hope she's doing fine. I hope she's doing fine. Like, I've heard.
Hit that one more time.
Well, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Hey, and whatever you do, don't sue over that.
Please. Because I ain't got no money for you.
Yeah.
Don't rob me neither. Don't send no killers my way trying to get whatever because I ain't got it. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll see y'all on GNX2. Be sure to like, subscribe, because we're going to break it down. We'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.
Maserati. So focused, I just need some meaning to my name. Plus, I'm cheating with these codes. If you thinking it's a game, that's real talk. Man, this ain't no game to me. This ain't no game to me. This ain't no game.